But let's get back to Ronald McDonald, also known as Rob DeSantis, Little Rhonda, running for president in Iowa. He's done. He's starting it.
Republican presidential field is descending on Iowa this week, led by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Last night, he held his first rally in the important caucus state since officially entering the race for the nomination a week ago. Ed O'Keefe was there and joins us from Des Moines. Ed, good morning.
Nate, good to see you. The governor has a full day of events here across Iowa before heading to New Hampshire and South Carolina later in the week. He continues to trail Donald Trump here and across the country, in part because the former president is now relentlessly attacking his one-time ally. But DeSantis is no longer holding back.
Our great American comeback starts by sending Joe Biden back to his basement in Delaware.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis kicking.
Bro, even his best, even his like best owns, quote unquote best owns, come from Donald Trump. And he's not even doing as good a job as Donald Trump. It's like, holy fuck, dude.
Kicking off his presidential bid in Iowa by vowing to make the rest of the country more like the Sunshine State.
In Florida, we chose freedom over Fauciism, and we are better for doing that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got to remind something to people. I said this before. The constant, like, the constant callback to COVID is not going to work. Okay? Americans as a whole have completely gone over COVID. Okay? It's over. It's done. So the more you try to repeat COVID and like try to remind people that COVID exists, which it still does for the record, the more you're going to sound like a fucking kook. You're reminding people of their worst moments that they want to hear. Except for like 20 QAnon freaks still riding that China virus hoax stuff. COVID, as it stands currently, is discussed only by the edges of either political party. There are people who are still advocating for masking, still talking about how like COVID is real, but that constituency is tiny within the Democratic Party. And the people who still talk about COVID in the Republican Party are also a tiny fraction of the Republican Party. They're like the psychotic QAnon freaks. Now, obviously, one side is, you know, closer to the truth than the other side. Clearly, make no mistake. I'm not comparing like the I'm still masking people to the psychotic QAnon pedophiles. But as far as like electoral politics goes, okay, Americans have completely given up on COVID measures, okay? It's over. It's done. COVID is not a winning strategy. Constantly reminding people how good Florida was during COVID is not going to help you. It's not even going to help you in fucking Florida all that much, okay? All you'll be doing in this regard is basically reminding people of a shittier fucking time. Like I remind you at the top of the hour ad break. Okay? Sorry, it's just the truth. It happens at the top of every hour. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky, but the 3-minute ad break comes for all. Regardless, if you constantly fucking remind people of it, that's all they're going to remember you with. Okay? Reminding people constantly of COVID and look at how good I was during COVID, it's not going to work, dog. No one wants to think about COVID. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Plant Bake, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Sanderness, thank you for the 5 gift subs.
Addressing several hundred supporters, the governor touted what he's done in recent months, restricting access to abortion services, loosening gun laws, and banning state colleges and universities from spending public funds on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
In Florida, we didn't lead with merely words. We followed up our words with deeds. And we have produced a record of accomplishment that we would put up against anybody in this country.
DeSantis is now hitting back at former President Donald Trump, who continues to lead the GOP field by double digits. The governor especially taking issue with recent comments by the former president, who suggested the state of New York, run by Democrats, handled the COVID-19 pandemic better than Florida.
Yes, the criticism is ridiculous, but it is an indication that the former president would double down on his lockdowns from March of 2020.
While Trump is also set to campaign in Iowa today and Thursday, so are other 2024 hopefuls who, along with...
Like, the idea that, like, little Rhonda was better on COVID than Donald Trump is so fucking stupid, because little Rhonda himself is vaccinated, and all Trump needs to say is, you're vaccinated, and so is your cancer wife, okay? He's going to go on stage, and he's going to be like, first of all, this was 3 years ago. Secondly, you and your cancer wife are both vaccinated. Suck my dick. And you're too much of a pussy to admit it. Then they're going to follow that up by showing everyone the photos of Ron DeSantis literally wearing a mask to be like, you're gay, you're a masker. Everybody knows you're gay and a masker.
DeSantis are attending a major GOP event Saturday hosted by Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. But DeSantis has a big advantage, a super PAC already spending tens of millions of dollars on ads in early primary states.
We fight the woke in the schools.
And on reaching Iowa.
Bro, if I was Donald Trump, I'd go to Davenport and be like, look at this Democrat mayor letting Iowans die. Boom. God damn. They should really let me fucking run this campaign. I'm not even kidding.
Voters face to face.
We look forward to your vote for Governor DeSantis in February.
Tim Hurst is among dozens of people being paid by the DeSantis super PAC to go door to door for the governor. He's come from Illinois to make the case.
It's time for this to end. I'd like to see all Americans just be reunited again.
Yeah, DeSantis is going to do that.
Tim told me he voted for Trump twice, but now believes that DeSantis can unite the country and move us forward. We'll see if or how former President Trump responds to the governor's remarks when he campaigns here later today and tomorrow. Nate?
Uniting the country sounds good to me. Ed, thank you.
Yeah.
Breaking news in the Republican primary field. A source confirms to NBC News that former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is set to become a candidate for the White House again. He's expected to announce his 2024 run Tuesday at a town hall in Manchester, New Hampshire. Joining us now is NBC's Vaughn Hilliard. Vaughn, good morning. This won't be Christie's first attempt at the Oval Office.
No, Jose, and I think that's actually maybe what's notable about this. You go back to that huge 2016 field that took on Donald Trump 8 years ago. None of those other individuals, from Ted Cruz to Marco Rubio, wanted to throw their hat into the ring and take on Trump again. That's where Chris Christie, who, yes, notably in the New Hampshire primary in 2016, finished in 6th place with just 15%, below the likes of even John Kasich and Jeb Bush, but he's...
Oh, my God, they're owning him so hard. Chris, don't look at the fucking QRTs, my man. They're eating your ass, dude. Holy shit. That is such a diabolical stat to just pull out when you're describing a person's, like, second failed initiative.
Giving this a second go. A source tells me that he is going to launch this bid formally in Manchester, New Hampshire at a town hall this upcoming Tuesday. I want to let you hear from Chris Christie, though, just 2 months ago when he was answering a voter's question about essentially what would make this go around any different from him compared to 2016 when he and other Republicans notably didn't take Donald Trump head on in those early primary months. Take a listen.
Part of what happened in 2016, I'll be honest with you, we all made a strategic error. We did. I mean, look, I'm happy to own my mistakes. I've made plenty of them, and that was one of them. We all kind of thought, all right, don't go after him now, because once I get past Jeb and Marco and John and Carly and Ted and, you know, then I'll have Trump one-on-one, and then I'll take him on. I don't know if I ever got there. It was over. It was over quick.
Yeah, but doesn't that imply that you couldn't even take on Jeb? Which is like... I mean, he's a big boy, and this is the era of big boys, okay? I will stand by that. This is the era of big boys, okay? It's big boys neighborhood. It's big boy season, and he certainly is a big boy. Problem is, he kissed Trump's ass so much, he knows the taste by memory. Like, you know, after he got owned. Just like all those other guys. So at least all those other guys, and I can't believe I'm saying this, had the dignity not to run again. After they got fucking permacucked. It's also additionally funny because the Chris Christie-Trump rivalry is over the one time Chris Christie did a good thing, which was when he prosecuted Jared Kushner's dad and threw him in jail. For those of you who don't know, Chris Christie literally threw Jared Kushner's dad in prison. So Jared Kushner fucking hates him, okay? And Trump kind of likes Jared Kushner. That's his son-in-law. That was one of the reasons why he kept ripping into Chris Christie no matter what. So, you know, good luck to Chris. I love seeing more rotund representation in our politics. I'm a big fan of that. But I just don't think it's going to happen for him.
So that was a strategic error.
And, well, Chris Christie right now is polling either at 0%, 1%, 2%, and polls nationally, Jose. What his other remark at that event is notable. Essentially, to make up for 2016, he said that he wants to enter the debates here against Donald Trump and do what he did, in his own words, what he did to Marco Rubio back in 2016. And that while other candidates are hitting Donald Trump with, you know, poking him more so with the stick over some little policy discrepancies or suggestions that it's time for a new generation of Republican leadership, Chris Christie has indicated that he wants to really take a shovel to Donald Trump this go-around. He has been forceful in calling out Donald Trump after the 2020 election and his election denialism, and has said that the country could not afford to have Donald Trump back in the office again. And
brother, looking at 60% of the Republican base of voters say that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, and then running against that is the fucking dumbest thing you can do. You might as well run on, like, being pro-gun control at that point. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? It's like a stylistic choice that makes no sense whatsoever. It's so fucking stupid, but I'm here for it because, one, big boy representation, big fan of that, and two, it's going to be very funny. So I'm on board.
You know, to many Republican surprises, this field is growing, and Chris Christie is now the latest who is going to be trying to get onto that debate stage just a couple months from now, Jose.
You know what I think? I think these guys are running, one, so they can get cabinet positions and stuff. Or, I don't know, write a book later down the line that no one will fucking read. But most importantly, I think they're running because, while there is no interest or need in the Republican base of voters for a guy like Chris Christie to run again, they showed that already in 2016. The Republican donors, on the other hand, do want someone who is more of a centrist so they can more effectively push tax cuts. Now, not all of those donors want that either. A lot of them recognize that Trump is good and he will be good. But that's the reason. There's money to be made. There's a campaign that you can announce. Especially when you see that, like, Ron DeSantis is fucking so uncharismatic. If I was a big city lawyer and a Republican of prominence, I 100% would be running against. I would 100% run against Ron DeSantis right now because Ron DeSantis looks like shit. And ultimately, you could turn around and tell Trump, like, look, I did it for you. I wanted to take away from Ron DeSantis' base of voters, which are pretty much non-existent anyway, but the ones that were, like, looking for a centrist Republican, I presented myself. I knew that I wasn't going to win, but I wanted to do that for you. You know what I mean? Because any person that runs that's not Trump right now is eating away at possible voters that could vote for Ron DeSantis and possible money that Ron DeSantis could be getting from donors. Okay?
There is.
But anyway,